Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I wanted to tell you a bit of a story. It's a shorter story, but it's something that really gave me a laugh just recently. But before we jump into the actual story itself, I need to explain to you a little bit how Korea works. Most of you will already know that in Korea, age is very important to people, so you have to show a lot of respect for your elder. Usually the person that is older than you is always considered to be right, and it's very rude and impolite if you just speak up against them, if you show them any kind of attitude or whatever. So this is one of the main concepts in Korea. And we are just brushing on that and this a little bit like on a very, very shallow basis. We're not going into in-depth with this analysis right now or with explaining to you how that works. We might do that in the future. But for today, the only thing that is really important for the story is that you have to show your elder a lot of respect, and it's very important in Korea. So age is a huge thing here. Personally, I could never really understand that all too much. Some people in Europe also talk about how you should always just respect your elder, and yeah, I don't really get that. I think it's really silly. It's a really stupid concept, because why should I show someone a lot of respect only because the person is older than me? Everyone gets older each and every day, and I don't think that's one of the reasons why you should show respect to someone. I think if someone accomplished something in his life, if he had to endure a lot of hardships, if he succeeded in whatever he's doing, that's something where I can certainly show a person respect and be like, okay, you achieved something and you are actually worth of my respect. But just because someone ages, that doesn't make him a better person, in my opinion. Of course, he probably has a lot more experience, but that is not necessarily a thing that comes with age. A lot of people travel at a very young age these days and have a lot of experience and experience different cultures and just different things. And that gives them a lot more, I would say, life experience than someone who just lives in one city in his country for the entire life. So that is one of the things where I really have to kind of disagree with that entire concept and the idea. But in Korea, it's very important. It's a huge part of their culture. And we will talk about this probably in the future at some point. But for now, it's just really important to know that it's very important to show respect to the people that are older than you. And I think that's also one of the problems that Korea has, because a lot of the people that are a bit older, especially like ajumas and ajoshi, they're like older women and guys, are very rude. Not when you meet them in kind of environment where they are dealing with you anyways. So, for example, when you go to a shop or where you go to a restaurant, but especially in the subway, older people are really, really rude usually. So Korea shows all these videos in the subway when you wait, and you can just look at them and they kind of show you how to behave. So, for example, they tell you like basic principles. When the subway arrives, you're supposed to wait outside of the subway, of course, just to the left and to the right of the door until all the people that want to leave the subway, until they are gone, and then you just make your way in. Pretty basic. Works like this in every single country. But in Korea, especially the older people, they don't care about it too much. So what usually happens is like they line up in front of the door, and usually they even jump queues. I had it several times when I was here that I was like all the way at the front because I arrived at the subway when one of the subways was just leaving. So I was just standing there for the entire time and waiting. And then suddenly just one of these older guys, or most of the times like the older women, just try to jump the queues and suddenly just shove in front of you. And I was like, what the hell? I was here for like minutes already. And why do you think it's okay that you just push into the line? But then suddenly the door opens and the people want to get out. But especially those older people, and the older women are the worst, they just push their way in. They don't give a shit about anyone else. They really don't care. I mean, this is, of course, generalizing things. It's not all of them, but it's really a huge part of them. And the doors open and people want to go out, but they just push their way in and they don't give a shit. It's like, oh my God, I need a seat and I need it right now. Well, whatever. So it's really annoying. And especially for the people that want to go out of the subway, it can be quite a pain in the ass. So I'm just going out with a few of my friends, and one of them is Korean, so he could basically translate everything what's happening, so I'm not going to bother with the Korean here, but give you the translated version. And what happened is that we were already standing like in line. The subway arrived and the doors opened, and right at the front there was once again one of these old women, and immediately when the subway door opened, she tried to push her way in past the people that were trying to just get out of the subway. And her problem was that right where she wanted to enter, there was a really old guy that wanted to leave the train. And he was older than her. So suddenly, it was a really interesting situation because the guy just stood there and he just started smiling. He wasn't angry or anything, or he didn't start to push past her or whatever. He just stood there, smiling, in the middle of her way. She had no chance of getting past him. And he looked at her, smiled, and in like the most polite and calm voice ever, he just said at her, "Listen, you have to get out of the way first. Because if you don't, I can't leave the subway, and then you can get in there." And you should have seen her face. It was priceless. I was in that situation like countless times before, and my Korean is nowhere near as good that I could actually talk to these people and tell them that what they're doing is wrong. So I was just looking at this and watching that scene right in front of me, and it was awesome. The guy was just standing there calm and quiet and completely cool. It was like the biggest boss that I've ever seen. And the Ajuma is looking at him, and she's like snarling, basically. She's like really, really annoyed, and she can't believe that she actually just can't push past him. So the guy is just basically teaching her a lesson, and she can't say anything. If that was like a younger person, she would have probably started bitching at him immediately and being like, "Oh my god, how do you dare, I'm your elder," and blah blah blah, all that stuff. But she can't, because the guy is older. So he's just standing there smiling like an angel, and she actually has to back off, and that never happens. Like seeing an Ajuma back off because someone else is older and is basically pointing out to her that she's really, really rude, that's priceless if you live in Korea. That happens very, very rarely, and it's just awesome to observe. So she had to go back and had to just go to the side and leave him through. And the guy just goes 2 steps forward. And as soon as he's on eye level with her again, he just turns around, smiles at her again, and is like, "Thank you very much," and just leaves the subway. Guys, it was awesome. I just wanted to run past the guy and want to say, like, you are a boss, dear sir. I love you. That was like awesome. He deserves a medal. It was really, really priceless. This is one of the things that happens very rarely in Korea, and it's pretty cool. I've actually seen Ajumas kick pregnant women off seats and start to bitch at them because they were like, "Oh my god, I'm older than you. How can you dare sit in my seat here?" Just immediately leave. And I want to point out one thing. It's not all of them, but it's really just a bit of a theme that especially the older people in Korea sometimes really misbehave. And even in a society where age is very important and where you should show respect for your elder, I don't think that age justifies being an asshole. And a lot of them are. Not all of them. Once again, just trying to point that out. But quite a lot really try to abuse that, and I think it probably will change a little bit over time, but even the Koreans that I talk to, they don't really like that behavior at all. So it's not like a foreigner Korea thing. It's something that is also just a perception that is also just going with all the Koreans that I've spoken to so far. Most of them don't really like the behavior at all. And I feel that the subway is one of those places where it's very, it just shows. Because that's where people don't really know each other. It's a very anonymous environment, and that's where people kind of show their true colors in those situations. It was just really funny. I liked that quite a lot, so it was pretty cool to see that. And that guy, I just wanted to give him a medal or something, or shake his hand and be like, "Okay, you are awesome. I love what you just did, and I really love that you called out for that," because everyone does this. And it's especially interesting because as I said, you always have these videos everywhere where they just show on monitors how you should behave in the subway, like not talk in a loud voice, that if you are on the phone that you should always cover your mouth and the phone so that you don't annoy anyone else, that you should always make sure that people are leaving the subway before you enter and things like this. So in light of that, it's really funny to see that they always misbehave like that and that finally someone called out. I enjoyed that a lot. And that's it already for today. Just a small story of what happened recently. So I'll give you a few updates pretty soon about other things that happened in Korea the past few days. Hope that you enjoyed the videos. If you do, then definitely make sure to upvote them, and I would also appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.